When you think of Liga, you usually think of the money spenders, PSG, Monaco, and even the up-and-coming Lyon. Left behind is a team with a great history, such as Marseille. They're the only team in French football history to win the Champions League trophy. They've been champions of France 10 times, 9 times in the Ligue 1 era. That's second only to Saint-Etienne. And finally, they've won the Coupe de France a record 10 times. Over the years, they've been a pretty household name in France, holding the likes of Jean-Pierre Papin, Didier Drogba, Franck Ribéry, Laurent Blanc, Abidi Pele, and even his 2 sons, Jordan and Andre Ayew. With all that said, you'd think they'd be doing good in French football to this day. Well, that's not the case. PSG have taken over, and even Lyon and Monaco are outpacing them. That changes today. A new man has taken the reins of Marseille, and he's said to be willing to do anything to be successful at any club he's at. It's time to start the road to the Champions League final with Olympique Marseille. What's up, guys, and welcome to episode number 1 of the Olympique Marseille career mode. It's finally here. You guys voted to see this series over the Liverpool career mode, the Schalke career mode, and the Fiorentina career mode. Although those were voted for quite a fair bit. This one won by about, I think, 20 votes at the time I'm recording this. But the other ones seem to be voted for quite a bit as well, so maybe sometime later in the year, after we finish a few seasons with this club, we'll move on to one of them. You guys have to let me know if you want to see that down in the comment section below. But either way, it's time to head right back into this career mode where we're getting started in the inbox. Of course, we get this email at the beginning of every single career mode, all these emails at the beginning of every single career mode. It gets really boring, pretty tedious to see the same thing over and over again. This is, of course, our friendly tournament that we joined. I joined, I think, one of the easiest ones, but it also gives you the most amount of money. I looked at all of them, and I thought it was the easiest. So, I mean, I'll take it. Definitely take that. Domestic Cup objective is to reach the round of 16. As I said in the intro of this video, they've won the Coupe de France a record 10 times. I want to keep that going, bump up that record. Important transfer market information. Don't really care. We should look for a wide man. To be honest, I think a wide man would be smart, but we need a striker more than anything. We'll take a look at our side in just a second. Final scout report has arrived for Jeremy Sunu. Alright, I don't really... Oh, Jeremy Sunu sent us his first report, I should say. Alright, Aldo Kalulu, that's very unrealistic. He would not leave to join a rival club. Juan Fernando Quintero is on loan, of course, so he wouldn't join. All these players I don't want, so thanks for the report, but I don't really want any of those. Thanks for introducing yourself as well. League objective is to qualify for Champions League. That is my objective as well. Winning the league would be a bonus, but I think we're going to finish behind Lyon and PSG, maybe behind Monaco and PSG, but third place is definitely my objective. Based on our squad, if we take a look at it, we have a good team, a good starting 11, but we don't exactly have the best of depth. I mean, like, if you go into our reserves, not really that great. We have a lot of fullbacks, a lot of fullback cover. We have decent center backs. We have a player out on loan named Doria who's 75 rated, although I'm planning on selling him when he gets back. He's good, has good potential, I believe, or at least he used to, but it's going to be very unrealistic to keep him at the club. He wants to leave. He's not been enjoying France, so I'm going to sell him when he gets back to keep that a little bit realistic. But not the best of center backs, as I said. We have Sperania, who's going to be a great up-and-coming player, has potential in the 80s, I believe. Rolando, of course, he's getting on a bit, but he's a decent cover. Rakik, who's always good, and Nkulu. So we're decent at the back, like I said. Lots of cover. We have Mandanda, Pele, and Bryce Samba, who's out on loan right now. And then our midfield. Our midfield's all right as well. Decent CDMs in Diaby and Diarra. We also have Silva as well on loan, and Romao, but other than that, not great. Our wing play, like they said, we needed to add more wingers. We have Nkudu from my Knots crew mode last year, one of my favorite players in this game. Great up-and-comer. We also have Sar as well. Booney Sar, I believe is his name. So we definitely do need some wide players, but I'm playing this formation where we don't exactly need them. We can play 3 cams if we want to instead of a cam and 2 wingers. So it doesn't really matter either way what we do. I do have some players on my short list, though, that will fill those spots either way, regardless if they're cams or wingers. But striker. We have Batshuayi, and if we click suggested subs, we have Omrani and Pourson Clemente. That's it. That is it. Cabella, I'm pretty sure, can play striker if we need him to. Yes, he can. But that's it. And Cabella's our starting cam, so if he gets injured or if they're both tired, who's going to play in a cup match for us? Who's going to play in Europa League for us? Yes, we're in Europa League. I don't know why that email didn't pop up. So we definitely need a striker. So we're heading over to our short list right now to take a look at the players I want to sign. Like I said, we might need some center back cover, so Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli could be a decent signing, as well as Eder Alvarez Balanta, an FM legend. He could be very good as well. Decently, I guess, realistic, not the most realistic players. A lot of these players I think would be realistic signings per se, but they're not the most realistic signings, if you get what I mean as well. But wingers, we got Andrade, who I'd also play as a backup striker because he can play there as well. Fred, of course, center mid, could be a decent backup CDM or even a backup cam if we need him to. Also, Samir Nasri, former Marseille player. Franck Ribéry, former Marseille player. Hesse is one of my top priorities this window. He can play striker and on the wing, so I think he'd be great for cover. And he's just good. He's just good. That's all you really need to know. Alex Teixeira, I think he'd be a very realistic signing. I think he's going to move on from Shakhtar sometime soon because he is killing it at the moment. And he's just good. He can play center forward. He can play CDM. Can play all around the pitch. 4-star weak foot. 4-star skill moves. He's pacey as well. Great defending, great well-rounded player, so I definitely want to sign him. Bernard, I also want to sign from Shakhtar. I have 3 Shakhtar players in my short list. I don't care. They're all good. I want to sign a lot of these players. Loic Remy, former Marseille player. We got Gabriel, who could be a decent backup striker for Batshuayi. Alexander Pato, we could have him and Batshuayi up front together. I think that combination would just be brilliant to bring him back to Europe. If we want to, though, we could go for a cheaper youngster in Moussa Dembele as a backup option, and that's my short list. That is everything we're going to go through, but let's go ahead and take a look at the players we have out on loan at the moment. As I mentioned, Doria out on loan and Bryce Samba out on loan. We also have Aloe, who's a decent backup option, which makes me want to think I don't necessarily need to go for a center back at the moment. We also have Antonian right here as well if we need him, but he's not exactly great, so probably going to sell him when he gets back. We have Fabry as well, 59 rated. Probably going to sell him when he gets back. Mario Lamina. We, of course, have Isla and I believe it's Desegli right here. Both on loan from Juventus, and Lamina went the other way. I believe he has a clause at the end of his loan where he will go to Juventus, but in the game, he's going to come back to us. He could be a great CDM for us when he comes back. We have Manquillo, who I definitely want to sign on a permanent basis when his loan ends. We have Silva, who I really actually don't want, to be honest with you. I know he's good, but I just really don't want him. Isla, I don't want. Desigli, I don't want. Cabella, I'd like to keep, but to be honest, I don't really know if I want to spend that much on Cabella when there's better options out there, but he'll do good for us in his loan spell here at the moment. As for the rest of the players, we have Rolando on a permanent basis, but we can't sell him. I'd love to sell him, though. Anyone else, really, that I would sell? Barada, I'd sell. Let's go ahead and add him to the transfer list. No one really else that I want to sell. They're all very good players. The JJs are starting right back. Romao might be a good player to sell just because he's getting on a bit, 31 years of age. But the rest of them, you might as well keep them for cover. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and simulate forward until we get a inquiry back about the players, how much they're going to cost us, and then I'll go ahead and send those offers through. As I said, we are in Europa League, and they want us to reach the semi-final of that competition. To be honest with you guys, Europa League is probably like my least priority at this point, because as I said, I want to keep that cup run going. And the league is important, so Europa League is going to have to take a back seat. As for our inquiries, though, Samir Nasri, definitely not happening. I'll see what we can do about him, because I think it'd be a decent cam for us, and it would allow us to perhaps bring Cabella off the bench and have him as our backup striker. But 41.5 million euros is ridiculous. Ribéry is not for sale at any price, so he's gone. Definitely not going for him. Loic Remy at 25.5 is just a joke. So again, I'd rather go for someone like Bernard at 17 million, who's cheaper, and have Cabella as our backup striker. Or we could go for Alexander Pato for 34 million. Again, that's 9 million more than Remy's worth, but Pato's younger and he's better. So yeah, for now, I'm going to go in for these 3 players. We'll see what other inquiries we get back. I think this one's going to happen. Victor Andrade for 6.5 million euros. Definitely going to go in for him. We could probably get him for a bit cheaper as well. Gabriel Barbosa, 11 million. That's also a very good shout. Alex Teixeira for 47. I'd rather go for Bernard anyway, so he's gone. Fred for 22.5 again. I think I'd rather go for Bernard. I know Fred's good, and he's probably better at playing defensive midfield than Bernard, but 22.5. I mean, come on. I'll keep him in there, though. 18.5 for Hesse, and Moussa Dembele for 1.8. These are all very good people we could go for, so I'm going to go ahead and send these offers through for all those players I mentioned, from Pato all the way up to Victor Andrade. I didn't inquire for those center backs after all, maybe if we need them, but for now, these are the players I'm going to go in for. Let's go ahead and get started. Before I forget, I forgot to show the transfer budget, or I believe I did anyway. It's 28.8 million euros and 140,000 euros on our weekly wage budget. I showed this in the career mode vote episode, so if you guys didn't see it then, here you go. There it is now. I should also mention that I'm only gonna show you guys when offers are accepted or declined, and by declines I mean they decline them and then I go ahead and say I'm not going back in for them anymore. So those will be the only things you see from me. I'd rather not waste your guys' time by going through every single offer that's sent. So yeah, just thought I'd let you guys know. I'm gonna get right back into sending these offers. Nothing's been accepted yet, but we have our first friendly. Batshuayi scoring in the 3rd minute, gonna skip. 3-1 the final score. Batshuayi scoring another one, and Alessandrini getting the other. I'll take it. We get our first transfer offer for Alexis Romao. I don't know about this one. I mean, I've been including him in some deals to try to offload him there, but I wouldn't mind offloading him this way. We'll go for 2.5 million euros for that. I think that'll be a very good deal for us. As for Real Madrid, they're not interested in loaning Hesse, so I'm just going to have to try to buy him outright. I'm going to go for 13.5. I think that'd be a very good deal. I like Nicolas Nkulu. He's probably one of my favorite center backs in all of FIFA. They're offering 1 million less than his valuation. I think it's because his contract is expired at the end of the season, or it's supposed to be, at least in real life. But I'm not gonna get rid of him. I like Nkulu. He can grow quite a bit as well, so I'm definitely not getting rid of him. Sunderland, you can piss off, but we have our first transfer offer accepted. I didn't even look at it yet. Who's it for? It's for Fred. 11.5 plus Alexis Romao. 4 years, 70,000 on the weekly wage. Gonna go ahead and submit that offer. If he comes in, I think that's a good signing. We're also now officially done going in for Samir Nasri. They're not budging from that price tag, so he can piss off. So this is where I'm actually going to bring episode number 1 to a close. I don't want this video to drag on too long, so the second part of episode number 1 will be uploaded tomorrow. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, the first episode of this series, a like would be greatly appreciated. Let's see if we can hit 50 likes. I've been TRayALLDay or Tyler. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys next time.
We all in my jelly, all in no Tony Montana, nigga. These niggas is jealous, they just can't understand a nigga, no. I know,